right, we are back on the Connected Design podcast and diving into the world of that. I want to say luxury displays, but that doesn't even begin to describe what's going on. We really maybe should have a pronunciation lesson to start this podcast here, Mr. Jeff Costello. Brand Loewe, is that right? Did I say that right, or am I saying that like the
close? It's Loewe.
Loewe? All right, I said it like there's. I know there's a brand out there, a luxury brand. That they have a whole like Dan Levy and Audrey Plaza for anyone that knows Schitt's Creek and Parks and Rec. I think they did a whole thing on pronunciation, so that's making it worse for you.
It is. They're a Spanish. I think that's a Spanish company.
Gotcha.
And you did pronounce that one correctly. We are Loewe. It's German. It's a German pronunciation of the word. It means lion in German. But it's a family name that we are named after the Loewes, who founded the company back in 1923. So I think we've been around longer than the Loewe company in Spain, but still we do get confused with them. And it was kind of funny when I first came on board for the task of launching the Loewe brand in the U.S. or the Loewe company in the U.S. I had a lot of friends when I announced where I was going to work, basically said, "You're going to sell super expensive handbags," and I'm like, do I look like anybody would buy a very expensive handbag from me? I don't think so.
Oh, that's awesome. That's incredible. Well, two companies. It looks like it would be a very easy word to pronounce. Two very different pronunciations, not super different, but different pronunciations. So no, that's awesome. Well, Jeff, I appreciate you jumping on and wanting to do a podcast with us. And a man that needs no introduction, but I want to give you that chance anyway. So for those that aren't familiar, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and your path to Loewe.
Yeah, well, I've been in the technology product space for a long time. Really in the high end residential AV kind of space, manufacturing space for like the last 13 years. And running running sales for the core brand / Nortec Security and Control / NICE entity. So I sold a lot of really premium brands in the marketplace that from Alon to Speakercraft to Sunfire, Niles, and things like that, Panamax and Furman. So really a lot of experience in this industry, and just kind of loved it, and kind of fell in love with everything about the industry, and then was decided to try something new, and kind of met Aslan Kabliev, the CEO of our company, at CEDIA last fall, and he said, "What do you want to do, Jeff?" I said, "I want to have some fun again." And he said, "Well, let's have some fun. Let's launch Loewe in the U.S., which is kind of what we've done." So I was employee number 1 on October 6th. I've got a team of 12 people now. Had to spin up a whole organization in North America to be able to support the global vision for the Loewe brand, and really excited to do it. So it's a fun challenge, and it's a blast being able to take a luxury product like this that is best in class in every aspect when we show it to people, and be able to bring that to market and provide it to the luxury custom install dealers and luxury retailers so that they can show it to their customers. It really has been a lot of fun being able to showcase that. And
it is such there's so many questions I have about it too, because it's like, for being a brand that's over 100 years old now, do you get a sense of, in talking with them, like, why the timing now for coming into this North American market? Like, what made it right for them to feel like this is the time to sort of enter this market?
Yeah, you do get that. A little bit you get it, but it goes back to starting with, for a lot of people, just wondering who Loewe is. And then when you explain to them that we've been in business since 1923 and really started making radio components back in 1923, and really helped with the technology advancement and the proliferation of the radio throughout all of Europe. And at the same time, in 1931, made the first commercially available TV ever made. And since then, we did a lot of other cool things. The first stereo television, the first internet inside a TV, things like that we've done for years and years and years. We really kind of plant the flag that we've been a leader in this space for a long time. And then you do get to the question of why come to the U.S., why now? Well, Loewe is a very well-known luxury brand throughout Europe. But the goal for our company really is to be a global luxury brand, the global luxury brand in consumer electronics. When people hear the Loewe name, no matter what it's on, whether it's on TVs or whether it's on, over-the-ear headphones or whether it may be on a coffee maker or whatever it is, that they know it is a best-in-class experience, luxury experience that's being provided. And if your goal is to have that, globally, you have to be in the U.S. So that was why the company wanted to come to the U.S. They wanted to make sure that we had the product portfolio and wanted to come to the U.S. in the right way. So that's why Aslan Koblev, who bought the company back in 2019, was really focused more on Europe and getting the company, getting the product mix correct and getting everything working well over there. And then decided to bring it to the U.S. last fall. And so that's we're ready to come to the U.S. now. We have the product line for it. We're launching with the high-end TV line, Stellar, which is the premium line that launched in Europe middle of last year. And that's what launched here at the beginning of this year. And with our Loewe Leo headphones, which are some really, really best-in-class over-the-ear audiophile headphones that are fantastic, that launch next month in the U.S. And so that's kind of what we're leading with, the right type of luxury products and luxury experience. So that's why the timing was, we've got, it fits with the global vision, and it is, and we've got the products to support it to come to the U.S. now.
Yeah. And the cool thing too is you have this perspective of this channel and like the history of it and kind of where it or how it's come to market or gone to market from a product perspective. And now you're like, the design centric approach is just so different from what I think we're traditionally used to. We're seeing more of it, right? Like I think as, CEDIA as a channel understands the importance of building those relationships, and we've seen them evolve and materialize with builders, designers, and architects, and understanding that, the different language that they speak. Now you're coming from a brand where like that seems to be the prevailing language, understanding design. To talk about that a little bit, is it very, how different is it?
Yeah, just because the product works incredibly well doesn't mean it can't look beautiful too, and that's the thing, especially in the back, just the attention to detail, the German craftsmanship that goes into our products. I mean, the thing is interesting. It kind of starts with everything is designed in Germany, engineered in Germany, and manufactured in Germany, all at the same facility. That's kind of very, very unique. And they're all distinctly different things. So you have an incredibly talented group of people that are sitting around and say, this is what I want this product to do. This is the experience. They start with the customer and the experience the customer has at the end. This is what I want them to experience when using this product. And then the engineering team, it's their job to figure out how to make that happen. And then once that's all aligned, then it's the manufacturing team to figure out how to make it. And they're all together in the same facility, which is really kind of cool. But everything about the product is it's not just about the luxury experience you get on, from the TVs, from viewing the TV. It's also every aspect of it. The front to back craftsmanship on it. There's no plastic on the TV. It's all brushed aluminum in the back and the sides, and everything about the TV just looks gorgeous. It's not just a great looking picture and then everything around it is as cheap as possible. The back of the TV has hidden cable channels. So if you see the back of the TV, you can't even see any cables. The cables are all hidden there and they come down the stand, which is really cool. On some of the smaller size TVs, like like our 65-inch and smaller TV, we have a bespoke back, which is cool, which is made of either black lava stone or a concrete stone. If it's silver in the front, the silver bezel has a concrete back. If it's black in the front, it has black lava stone. And what's cool about that is, first of all, it looks amazing. Everybody looks at it and they have to put their hand up and run the hand up and down to like, this looks so cool. But every one is basically unique because it's not a stamped pattern. It's applied at the factory. So It's like a fingerprint. No two TVs are the same. And that really resonates well with designers and with dealers that want to explain that to their customers. It really is kind of cool. It is a unique experience. Yeah. And the reason we do that is because we want the back of the TV to look just as beautiful as the front. And there's a lot of instances where you might see the back of the TV. Now, a lot of them are going to be mounted. You'll never see the back. But in Europe, it's kind of common to use a TV as a room divider, a smaller size TV, 65-inch and smaller. where you are going to see the back of the TV and where you might see it, and so that's something that we kind of brought that over to the U.S. with this product line, and I've been talking to a lot of our integrators about it, and they're showing it to customers, and they in many cases they want to be able to see the back of the TV. They don't want it mounted. They want to be able to see because it's beautiful. It really looks cool. Yeah. And there are some cases where you're challenged to where you can't mount it. Maybe it may be up against a glass, a glass wall, or maybe against something where you're going to be able to see in a window and see the back of the TV. And it really has really kind of captivated designers when they see this TV. They're like, "That's what I'm looking for. That looks beautiful."
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That is really cool on how we pay attention to absolutely everything. The manual itself is like it's 4-color. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Wow. The remote is gorgeous on it. The way it's packaged is great. So everything about this TV just screams luxury from the moment you get the box.
Yeah. Now, as you're getting familiar with the brand and out there having conversations and introducing it to our channel, to other channels, and the designers that are out there, like, how different is it from the way you have conversations about the brand? Just how you're talking about it is very different, I think, than when you're typically at a CEDIA and talking to a brand and how things go. So, like, what are those conversations like, and do they
depends
get
on who
it?
I'm talking to.
Yeah.
Basically, if it's if I'm talking to an end user, it's basically just talking about the quality of the product, the craftsmanship, the German craftsmanship that goes into it, and how it is the most luxury product in the marketplace. And that basically that there's no plastic on the TV. That tends to resonate with people as well, because everything else, every other TV out there is loaded with plastic all over it. So just basically, it's just a better overall luxury experience. And I'm at events where I do talk to a lot of end users, and that seems to resonate for the same people that'll have an affinity for a luxury automobile, or have their own private plane and don't fly commercial, that type of stuff. That's speaking their language. That's going to resonate with them, right? If I'm talking to a dealer about it, one whose job it is to specify all these products for that individual that I just described, what I like to explain to them is that this is something that's actually just providing like a new category to them, because right now they really don't have the ability to sell TVs in the same way that they sell or offer lighting solutions or shade solutions, or even audio solutions. If you look at the audio solutions that are available for a high-end residential AV install, you can go from way down here low to unbelievably expensive and everything in between. And depending on what that customer wants or needs, and depending on where that customer's brand preference is and everything, they've got plenty of stuff to show them. That's not really the case on the TV front. The TV front, it has been so price sensitive. And there really hasn't been the ability to have something where you could differentiate and offer a luxury experience to them, top to bottom, front to back, everything luxury. And so that's where we are now, which I think is something that it is resonating. And a lot of the dealers that we partnered with are super excited to be able to have that to showcase to their clients, because it does differentiate them. Quite honestly, it's their job to show their clients what's possible. This is what great looks like. Here's what good looks like. And if you're really economic, here's what okay looks like, right?
Yeah.
And they really haven't been able to do that on the TV side, and now they can.
Yeah. I'm glad, we spent a lot of time talking about the TV, that rightfully so, right? That's what's coming to market and how you're launching here in the North American market. But I know too, as we're sitting here, it was just recently announced some new initiatives for the brand, around sort of a whole, I'm going to give you the chance to describe it, but it's more of a whole home, or not whole home, but a whole system package, I guess is how it's being presented. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we just announced the new group that we're doing. And what's cool about that is that, Loewe is all about luxury experience. Every aspect of it's a luxury experience. But that luxury experience is, despite the fact we started really with radio technology in the early 20s, that luxury experience has really been focused mostly on TVs going forward the last 70 years or whatever. And so, and most of the audio products that Loewe had released had really been to support the extension of the TV audio. And that's what basically, it's how can we make this TV, the overall experience of the TV better? This is some audio products that have been made specifically to improve the TV experience. And so with the purchase of Cabasse, a 76-year-old French company that's 100% audio and has a very similar story to Loewe, rich history in France, a lot of super luxury product, a lot of firsts that they've done, a lot of technological innovation and design, and everything is good. So with that, there's been more of a move towards now luxury audio as well. And I think you'll see more of that from our company as we move forward, including this new group that's been set up that will really be to pursue, luxury audio in other places like planes and yachts and super high-end residential. And it's just a natural extension of what we're doing, which is extending the Loewe luxury experience in places where it makes sense to be. And certainly a yacht is a place where it absolutely makes sense for the Loewe experience to be. That's 100% in line with our brand positioning and the type of experience that we provide. And the fact that we're doing this now, that we're able to now do this because of setting this company up and the Cabasse acquisition and everything, we're able to take what we've been doing on the TV side and also just do it exclusively on the audio side, or in some cases when it's right, marry the two together and have a video audio solution that's just unmatched by anybody else.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that positioning too, because I think that's an important distinction or something we can dive into. Like, is Loewe a brand? When you think about the dealer, like, is there a type of dealer that makes sense, or a home builder that, like, when you're talking about working with certain a certain profile or that, like, that end client, like, who is Loewe right for?
Yeah. When we're dealing with resellers of Loewe, there's really two types of resellers we're dealing with. We're dealing with luxury retail and luxury custom install dealers. And for luxury retail, it's going to be a lot of the retailers that specify in selling the high-end stuff in the U.S. market. It's not going to be some of the mass merchant people. It's not going to be the online guys. It's not going to be, Costco, people like that. That's not, our brand is not going to be in those places, right? So it's going to be super high-end luxury retail where you can go in and buy, $150,000 pair of speakers down to, less expensive stuff, and then have a trained professional that can explain the differences between all of it and help you pick what's right for you. From a luxury custom install dealer, we're really looking for people that cater to the right type of jobs. It's more expensive houses, obviously. We're not going to do a custom home or mass market homes, those type of things. We're really looking more at the super luxury home market. The people that are already aligned from a product standpoint, the people that are selling luxury lighting, luxury audio products. I mean, if they're selling, Macintosh amps and Ketra lighting and that type of stuff, then they've already got the clientele to present the Loewe TVs to. Yeah. If they're selling, lower end speakers and lower end lighting solutions and things like that, then they're not the right fit for us. So we are somewhat selective. We want because again, we are bringing the Loewe brand to the U.S. So unlike in Europe, where we've been around for over 100 years, a lot of times the first time somebody buys a Loewe product in the U.S. will be their first experience with the brand. And we need to make sure it's in line with the branding that we want and the experience we want them to have. Yeah. So from that standpoint, we have to make sure we've got the right partners on board, and we're fairly selective on who we're bringing in.
Yeah, it's a unique opportunity for a brand that's been around so long. You kind of get to, introduce it to a market and introduce it the way you want and sort of set the stage for how it's presented here. So that's a really cool opportunity for you guys. And I think it makes sense too, because for the dealers that do have the opportunity to, specify this or put this in projects, it kind of gives them an edge, I would think, in developing those partnerships that they want on the higher end, designer and builder side of the business, to be able to say, hey, look, like, we've got the trust of a partner that is at this caliber and aiming to be a certain level of luxury type brand, that you're only going to be able to get it through us. I have to imagine.
That is, and that is exactly, took the words right out of it. That's exactly the message that we tell them when we're trying to partner with the right people and to bring them on board is to basically tell that's part of their message to their customer is that that, that I only carry a few lines of TVs. The best one I carry is Loewe. They're highly selective on who they bring in as a dealer, and they've selected me to carry the product line because I cater to customers like you who are right for the product. And then they can showcase those customer stuff that you just can't see somewhere else. And that makes them look better to their end users. I'm showing you something, whether it's not, it may not be right for you, whatever we think it would be, but if it's not right for you because you want to go, you want to do something else, you not want to spend a lot of money on TVs, you'd rather spend it on something else. That's okay. There's clients like that. But the fact that our integrators can showcase something that to their end user clients that you can't see at other places is something that makes them look better in the client's eyes. And that's really what the client comes to them, is to see what's possible, especially when they're high net worth people. They want to see not only what's possible, they want to see what's best. What's the best, and what's best look like, because that's more than likely what I want.
Yeah. To bring it back to the timing question too, like right now it seems like there's so much going on in the display market. We'll call it, like there's, video walls going on. I know there's been introductions of new like RGB and all this sort of stuff. So like the timing of does that present any challenges at all of trying to find your niche or anything like that? And do you guys even consider that when you think about marketing or anything like that?
No, I mean, obviously right now the micro LED TV walls are like an unbelievable category right now. That category is exploding more than anything else. But it's really not coming at the expense of luxury TVs. The luxury TV category is projected to grow, mid single digits for the next 5 years. So that category is still pretty strong. I think the projector category is one I think that may be taking a bit of a hit on what's happening with micro LEDs, but it really hasn't affected the TV category. And what we're seeing in general overall is that maybe you've seen this or talked to other folks that have shared this, but the luxury end of the market, continues to thrive and get stronger. In the middle tier of the market tends to get weaker right now. And I think that you've seen that as I like to as I tell people that, the luxury end of the market is really, really healthy, and anything mid tier or below, it's a knife fight to get a sale. I mean, it's a back alley.
It's like the Sopranos over here.
Everybody's discounting, everybody's doing whatever they can or whatever, and that's not a market. That's a market that's a market I came from. I had a bunch of product lines, and I had some high end ones, and I had some mid tier and low end ones, and it was and we were seeing this happen the last couple of years, and it is super aggressive. There's less business in there. Everybody's more aggressive going for it. It is just really hard to sustain and make money at that mid tier and mass market kind of home value, and but the luxury market just seems to be where it's at. And I tell you that I remember talking to a lot of dealers last year from my prior gig, and I would ask them, how much was your business up last year? What are you projecting this year, whatever. Mm-hmm. And they were all going to be up. They were all up double digits and going to be up double digits this year. And then I would always ask the next question, which is, how many more projects are you going to do this year than last year? And usually the answer was, I'm going to do less projects.
Yeah.
The answer is I went from 28 projects to 22 projects or whatever it may be, but they're all such higher dollar value, and what I'm putting in there is more premium luxury stuff, and I'm making more money off of it, which was great unless you're the person that sold controllers to them.
right.
That all of a sudden, because you didn't sell them 28 controllers next year, you sold them 22 controllers, right? Because your business didn't go up, but everything around it went, everything you're controlling went up. And so that was a challenge that was happening. But that's something that we've seen, is that dealer, especially the smart dealers, they're probably doing less projects, and the ones they're doing are much better projects for them, much higher dollar value, and much more premium stuff going into them. So that market just keeps pushing up and up and up, and we're in a really good spot for that right now. The way we're positioned, we're not only to ride that wave, but to help facilitate that wave,
right?
Because it's not like we're asking them to not sell somebody else's $15,000 TV and sell ours. We're basically saying you can get $15,000 for a 77-inch TV if it is if you're really selling the luxury story of what it is and what it provides. And right now, you're not even getting close to that. So we're actually accelerating that wave. So,
and then also being able to expand that into with the audio story that you'll be able to tell. So how quickly do you
absolutely.
guys see that, being coming over to North America?
We'll probably have product in North America that we'll be sharing with folks and everything. We'll be doing some little mini events and stuff that we're doing
Yeah.
in July on it. I think we're probably looking at maybe Cedia being more of our coming out party. We've got a really nice room at Cedia, demo room that we're going to have all the Loewe and all the Cabasse stuff in there. We'll be able to showcase a lot of really cool stuff there. So I
Yeah.
think that's where it'll kind of start. But we're already talking to customers about it. Excuse me. We see a lot of similarities in the business and where the product's going to be sold. I mean, I think a lot of the dealers that we've already currently brought on board the first 6 months of this year for Loewe are perfect Cabasse partners. Same thing. A lot of the luxury retail, every luxury retail that we're selling Loewe TVs in
Yeah.
is perfect for the Cabasse product line as well. So I think that there's a lot of crossover. So the work we've already done in building relationship and everything, I think it's going to connect really nicely with where we're headed as a company.
Yeah, that's awesome, and it's a cool story. Like again, the kind of blank canvas that you have coming into this market, and a blank canvas, but one that's supported by 100-year history of success,
Right.
Overseas. So it's cool to be able to see that come here, and I even think back to just knowing our own, Connected Designs history. Of being over in Berlin and getting to see some of these brands, you're like, man, I wish they could come to the North American market and see it, or just I wish some Americans could get over there and see what they've got, because there's some really cool
Right.
stuff. So to see that actually play out is pretty cool for us, and I know we're excited to continue to follow your story and everything that you guys have going on.
Yeah, we're excited, and honestly, I mean, I think the important thing, I think I said it early, but just to maybe elaborate a little bit more on
Yeah.
it is that, I'm not building an infrastructure in North America to go sell TVs. I'm building an infrastructure to basically extend the Loewe global brand vision on what we're trying to do, which right now is
Yep.
TVs, and next month we'll add in the headphones. But next year, we're also going to have a coffee maker that we have coming to the U.S., which is a really super premium coffee maker. I think it launches in Europe the end of this summer. So we're very, very excited about that. And there'll be other categories we're looking at as well. So we really want the Loewe name to be known as, like, when you hear the Loewe name, we want you to immediately think of the luxury electronics company out there, that basically the number one luxury electronics company out there, that when you hear Loewe, you know that it's luxury, and it's a best in class experience for whatever electronics product we're bringing out. And there'll be more stuff that's coming. I mean, I know other things they're working on, but within 5 years there'll be even more cool stuff that's coming out. And there's also a lot of really cool development that's happening on the Cabasse stuff. So there'll be more.
Yeah.
There's neat product that was just recently developed by Cabasse before we bought, but there's more neat stuff that's coming out that I think will be really game changing for what we're able to do for the target customers we're bringing on board now. So this is all stuff we're looking forward to sharing with partners when we get to have those conversations here in a couple of months.
Yeah, it's cool to. I'm glad you brought that up, because it's a an important point to make for those listening, is that yes, it's a display story right now, but this
Right.
is really just the beginning, and it shows sort of. I hope the connotation doesn't come off as wrong, but like, it's a calculated approach, right? And how you're coming into this market, and you're doing it at a paced sort of way, so that you're not oversaturating and really telling like a mumble jumbled story, as opposed to like taking those baby steps into what this North American market will be over the next coming years. So I mean, case in point, it's going to be a great story to follow, and we're excited to be along for the ride. So Jeff, this was awesome. I really appreciate you taking the time and sharing the start of your story, the preamble maybe of what Loewe is going to be here in the U.S.
I appreciate it too. It's been a lot of fun. It's great,
Yeah.
great getting to talk to you about it, and love to do it again sometime soon.
Absolutely.